I'm curious about how the field of archaeology gets defined. I think generally, and then also in some of this issue, it seems more aimed at looking at gender inequality in academia rather than CRM. And then I wondered, was that a result of the available research? So that's one of my questions. But I think related to this, I also wonder if the way that we as a field relegate CRM as secondary to academia in archaeology intensifies gender disparities. And I will also add that in there's long research. Actually, one of the first surveys of women in archaeology was done in CRM, and it showed that women were finding CRM to be a more sustainable career choice than academia, and that was in the 1980s. And so I wonder if we see that still today.
Absolutely think it's still something we need to be considering strongly. The other aspect, kind of to draw it back to the last question as well, one of the reasons we don't like the pipeline metaphor and one of the reasons we advocate for more of a garden or growing or cultivating approach is it sets up one route to success. It implies that a tenure track, tenured full professor at a R1 institution is the only way to be successful. And I went to the University of Arizona. I work in the Southwest. So many of my friends and colleagues didn't want academic jobs, often from the start, or decided during grad school that this was not something that they wanted to pursue because it does ask for a lot of movement around the country. It asks for a lot of changing locations, changing priorities, working who knows what hours, all hours are possible. And that's just not something that everyone can do. And especially women have tended to be a little bit less mobile because there are studies that show that women are more likely to value their partner's careers as much as their own and to feel like moving a family across the country isn't feasible. So I do think we struggle from having it be more focused on academia. Certainly, both Sarah and I are coming out of academia. That's been our paths. And the available research is heavily on the side of academia. So it was what we had to draw from, but we did make a lot of efforts to try to make the recommendations in the final paper, make some of these ideas expand beyond that. And really, one of our main goals was to frame the fact that we shouldn't be assuming everyone is after the same thing and that one mode of success is the only way to be a successful archaeologist, because it just isn't.
Yeah, I very much appreciate that. And then personally too, I very much appreciate having done both of those career trajectories. Yeah, I think that's a great contribution of this volume. So.
And going back to the language and the problems with the language, another issue with the leaky pipeline metaphor is the notion that if you somehow choose an alternative career path, you're a drip. And this is a very offensive suggestion. So people who might choose to work in the public sector, who might want to be reporters or who knows what, this great variety of important things, are all classified as sort of drips and leaks, suggesting that there is one better end goal, and that's just not true.